This is a WVUA 23 special report.
Now the third installment of Jack Royer's special reports on Alabama's heroin epidemic. Tonight, a moving story of one family's perseverance after losing a son to a heroin overdose.
Last night, we took you to a recovery program for drug addiction. Tonight, meet a family that probably isn't much different from yours. The Bright family of Birmingham lost their son to a heroin overdose. Now they're using their pain to save other lives, and his story to warn other parents and prevent another loss to this deadly drug.
We got to the point where we didn't know what else to do.
Bill and Lisa Bright raised their family like many other ordinary Americans raise theirs. 2 daughters and a son, Will. As a young man, Will began experimenting with drugs. Of all the drugs by which he may have been affected, heroin took a stronghold over his life.
He would come in and come out, and he was would do real well for a while, and then not so well for a while.
There were times that he wanted to come home and spend Thanksgiving with us, and I said, "You can't stay here." And he said, "Why can't I stay there?" I said, "Well, every time you come here, you steal something from me." And he laughed and he said, "Not every time."
The Bright family sought help from many different rehab centers, including the Foundry in Bessemer.
And he told me, he said, "I think I'm finally beating this thing. I think I'm finally, I'm at that point." I told him, "Man, I've been waiting to hear that for years." And then, 6 months later, he was dead.
Will Bright died almost 3 years ago of a heroin overdose in late November of 2012. But the Brights aren't ignoring what killed their son. They're embracing it to save other lives by trying to open a home for recovering addicts, a place that might have saved their son's life. The Will Bright Foundation was created by the Bright family and Jackie Gann, a recovered addict that knew Will and was likely the last person to see him before he died. The Will Bright House is a new concept that could eventually bridge the gap between finishing traditional drug rehab and truly getting clean.
Well, his name's on the shirt, the Will Bright Foundation, and I think that his legacy is continuing that, and I think that even through his death that he's going to bring many people to life. So,
the Will Bright Foundation is raising money to build this house. The people working towards this mission aren't receiving salaries or being paid. They're volunteering their time for Will and other addicts whose lives they hope to save. Every penny raised at this fundraising breakfast for the foundation in early November will go towards that mission.
I think about it every day. Every day. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. The more you deal with it, it's not necessarily the easier it gets, but the calmer it gets.
We have a strong faith in Jesus, and outside of that, I don't know how anybody deals with it. You don't know why things like that happen, but at the same time, you have 2 choices. You can sit and waller in it and be bitter and miserable the rest of your life, or you can move forward. We choose to move forward.
For more information on the Will Bright Foundation, go online to willbrightfoundation.com. Tomorrow night, I'll show you how a Birmingham police officer is fighting this drug on 2 fronts, the streets and the state legislature, and what every citizen now has the ability to do to potentially save a life from heroin. That's tomorrow night in the final installment of Sweet Home Heroin right here. I'm Jack Royer, WVUA 23 News.